was a cold, rainy Halloween night in Las Vegas. Meet Joanna Watson. She is an 18-year-old girl who just graduated from high school. She is a teen mom. She was a well-known babysitter. Joanna had just gotten engaged to her boyfriend Albert Fredrickson. They had planned on moving to New York with their 6-month-old daughter Aubrey. Their dreams were shattered because Albert returned from the store and discovered his fiance's body on the floor, lifeless, handcuffed to their table. At the scene, she was found with a stab wound and a bullet wound. She was pronounced dead.
When we found her at the scene, she had a stab wound to her chest and multiple gunshot wounds from a double-barreled shotgun.
When the police questioned the neighbors, they claimed to hear the two fighting the night before Joanna's death.
We had a couple leads, and we were actively trying to apprehend this suspect before he could do something terrible again.
Please state your name for the record.
My name is Sandy Beach. On the night of Halloween, my sister and I were sitting watching television, and I thought we heard a scream, but that's Halloween. So we went to the window, I went to the window, and I saw a man coming out of the house next door, and he had on a black mask. And I thought he had a knife in his hand, but it was Halloween, so people get dressed in costumes. And that's all I saw, and that's all I heard.
Thank you, ma'am. Please state your name for the record.
My name is Rochelle Beach, but everybody calls me Rocky. I spoke to my twin sister, and she told you what she saw on Halloween night. My story's a little different. We were watching TV, but I also went to the window a little after my sister. I didn't see anybody in a black mask. I saw somebody in a clown's mask. And he was carrying a rifle, a big rifle. I can't tell you if it was real or not, but it was Halloween, so that's what I expected. And that's all. The night before, we heard the couple next door yelling at each other, but that happens all the time. So I don't know anything else, but I didn't see anybody in a black mask. I just saw somebody in a clown's mask. But it's Halloween. What do you expect?
Thank you, ma'am.
The neighbors told the police that they also saw a man named Timmy Johnson go to her house with a knife on Halloween, but they thought it was just a costume. When the forensics team got there, they saw her body lifeless on the floor. Her bloody hand might have the DNA of the killer. Her bloody wrists showed that she tried to resist, and the handcuffs could contain the DNA and the fingerprints of the killer. At the scene, they found a little red speck, and they had no clue what it was, but it linked both Albert and Timmy to the crime. After forensic testing, it proved to be a red paint chip from Timmy's mask. While the killer took the large bills, the small bills fell on the floor and they kept his bloody fingerprints on them. Because there was partial prints on the bills, they could do fingerprint comparisons, and although there were many fingerprints on the bills, the bloody ones proved to be Timmy's. Due to the good detective work by Detective John Doe from Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, Timmy Johnson was arrested for the murder of Joanna Watson. After they interrogated him and said they would reduce his sentence if he told them where the murder weapons are and how much money he's stolen, he didn't comply. Because he left it up to the jury to decide his fate, once again the prosecutor displayed the weapons found by the detective. The knife was found in the garden, and the blood on it was tested to see if it matched the victim's. It was positive. The rifle was also found in the garden, and the way they tested it was firing it and compared the bullet striations to ones found at the scene. They matched. Both the knife and the rifle, and as well as the cauldron, had Timmy's fingerprints on them. And the candy was very bloody and had both Timmy and Joanna's blood on it. The handcuffs and the cauldron were found at the scene, and the handcuffs had the blood of Joanna and the fingerprints of Timmy on them. It was proven that the red paint chips found at the scene of the crime came from the clown mask that Timmy Johnson wore on the day of the murder. Although Detective Doe was able to find the black mask Sandy Beach spoke about, it did not contain any blood or DNA from Joanna Watson. Therefore, he was proven innocent. In order to convince the jury of Timmy's guilt, the prosecutor decided to do a reenactment of the crime. After the last trick-or-treater came, Joanna forgot to lock the door and someone came in. He threatened to kill her unless she gave him candy and money. He didn't like the offer she made, so he threw some candy at her, which knocked her down. After a struggle, he finally handcuffed her and dragged her to the table, where he then handcuffed her to the leg of the chair and the table. She laid on the floor pleading to save her life for the sake of her baby and her fiancé. He then became very angry and shot her multiple times and stabbed her to make her be quiet. Timmy noticed that Joanna left her money on the table. He then took the small bills and knocked them on the floor, and then he took the big bills. He did not realize that he got his bloody fingerprints on the bills so that they could test them. He was about to leave until he realized he did not take any candy and he forgot his knife. He threw more candy at her, and then he picked up both of his murder weapons and the money, and he left. Once again, the prosecutor pleaded with the jury to find Timmy Johnson guilty with first-degree murder for Joanna Watson. It only took the jury 6 hours to find that Timmy Johnson was guilty with the murder of Joanna Watson. After the judge read the verdict, the jury made the final announcement. Timmy Johnson was going to go to jail for the rest of his life on an account of first-degree murder of Joanna Watson, and he was there for life with no parole. Thanks to the fantastic detective work of Detective Doe, the case was now solved. Timmy Johnson was sentenced to life, and he revealed that his motive was jealousy of her fiancé, Albert Fredrickson. Although Sandy Beach testified that Black Mask Guy was leaving the scene, forensic evidence proved that he was not guilty. Thanks to the testimony of Rocky Beach, she placed Timmy at the scene, which then resulted in him getting convicted of murder. Although the conviction of Timmy cannot bring Joanna Watson back to life, it can make her family rest in peace knowing that nobody else can get hurt by this man. Although Timmy was found guilty and is serving time in jail, his brother Tyler still loves him and often visits him.
My name is Tyler Johnson. My brother and I were good friends and always playing together. I just can't believe he would kill anyone or anything, not even a tiny little fly. I'm the only one who visits him in prison. He's convinced someone else killed Joanna Watson. Maybe the guy in the black mask did it. Timmy told me that Joanna was already dead when he got there. He just took the candy and money and took it, but he did not kill her. I believe him. He's innocent! He is innocent!
Timmy Johnson, age 26, was found guilty of murdering Joanna Watson, 18, and is now serving his sentence, life without parole, in a Nevada prison. Today, he has petitioned the court, unsuccessfully, to get a new trial. Because her daughter will grow up without her mother, Joanna's family hopes he stays behind bars and is denied any new trial.